Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. Let's get serious about small engines and small engine repairs. No time to cluck around. So yesterday was generator day. I had fixed this 2-cycle generator for my buddy Matt. I did a couple of videos on this. Gas was kind of rough. Took the carb off twice and I ended up not filling up the tank enough, and I think we were just out of gas towards the end of that project. And then I cleaned the carb on this 10 horsepower Subaru powered Black Max. I gotta get this to my co-worker, the Black Max. So through this 2016 Toro recycler, it's the SmatStow, the 725 mow and stow. So I've had this for a while. I don't know what I paid for it, but yesterday I started to disassemble it, and I spray painted some rust here on the muffler, the overhead valve cover, and I went around and did the engine case. The paint was peeling off of that. Touched up the handle. There's still some surface rust here, which I won't mess with right there, and kind of rough right back there. So I got to come up with a bag for it. When I do, it'll be 150 to 180 when I get this thing up and running. So I emptied the tank yesterday. There was very little gas in it. It fired off with a shot of Happy Juice carb cleaner and then stalled right away. So I'm assuming the bowl's got water in it, or we have a plug jet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to disassemble this thing. The two Torx screws holding this red beauty ring down are T25 Torx. And these are 8s, 8 millimeters on the recoil housing. That'll give you the necessary access to remove the tank. The tank just slides down here. You can't move the tank unless the recoil's off. So extremely windy here. We have a wind out of the south. I can smell the margaritas in Key West. Unfortunately, Jimmy Buffett isn't around to enjoy them. And once in a while, I can smell the cigars from Havana, but not often. The wind's got to be just right. Okay, so let's get after the carburetor here. We're gonna clean up the carb. Blew the tank out with some compressed air. That's ready to go. Fresh and clean. We're not clucking around. Okay, so let's get busy. The two outside sheet metal screws, those are 8s. So let me grab my DeWalt Impact, speed this up for you guys that might be doing this project. So my 10 by 10 tarp behind me, my little canopy's blowing in the wind. I kind of had to put some more tie downs on it. So hopefully that doesn't blow away, knock me in the head. 7 millimeter on the two insides. These go directly into the plastic carburetor. That falls off like so. You with me so far? We got two linkages, the throttle / governor linkage, and then we have the linkage for the automatic choke, which runs off of a thermostatic wafer back there. It's attached to the muffler. Muffler heats up and then opens up the choke. So what I do is just grab the bottom of it, pull gently until the back of the carb is off the intake. Tilt it forward, undo my automatic choke linkage, and then the Z bend on the throttle linkage will come off. Put those aside. Make sure my O-ring and the white keeper are in place. Now we're going to remove the two bowl nuts here, which happen to be the same 7s we just used on the impact. So I'm going to impact these off. Got a squirrel dancing above my head in the oak tree. I hope he doesn't shit on me. These have a wide head. Make sure they go back on the bowl. Don't use these up here on the carb. Okay, let me get a container to put this crappy gas in. What I do is take a flat screwdriver and stick it in this area and kind of pry to the side. It'll give me an air gap here that I can finish prying that off. So let me get a container. As always, not prepared for you guys, but I think I can come up with something in a relatively short order. And in fact, I can. It's one I used yesterday on the generator. It's got a little bit of snot in it, but it's going to be good enough. So get my big screwdriver again. Something like that. Okay, there is fuel in it. Oh, it looks ugly, and it had water. It looked like it was half water, half fuel when I poured it out, and you'll see here in a minute. So crappy gas is what did this in. There is a layer of water. Like I mentioned in another video, 90% of the time it's crappy gas on these engines that don't run. Sometimes it's a fluke where they hit a rock or no spark, but most of the time it's fuel related, water in the fuel, and this is one of those times. Okay, so getting really blustery here. Okay, I got compressed air. Let me blast out the bowl. That's ready. I'm going to remove the cartridge. Just take a flat head, push up on the main jet. This whole cartridge will pop out with a little bit of pressure. Like so. You're going to spill a little bit of gas. So let's blast out the main part of the carb with some compressed air. That looks fresh and clean. Got 2 holes, one there and then one down in the back. Just blast those. You got 3 here. I just blast some air into those 3. I'm going to put a little air pressure here by blowing on it physically, and then I'm going to move the float up and down, make sure that it's stopping my breath. And it did move the float up, and it blocked the air, so this is working. So that's ready. Let me get a small flathead. We're going to pop the secondary jet, which is open, and the main jet looks like it's open as well. The issue with this was the water. The water in the bottom of the bowl was preventing this thing from starting. So just take a small flathead, get it started under there, and just twist your blade and pop this up. I clean out these 3 holes, blast a little bit through the main jet, and then blast a little bit here through the secondary jet. So this is going quickly. We'll have this thing back together. I like working on these newer plastic carbs. They come apart really quickly. Okay, we'll reassemble it, put my secondary on top of the main jet, like so. Push down till it clicks. One more blast. I got some dirty fingers. Get rid of any contamination. Install it back into the carb. It only goes in one way. If you try to push it in the wrong way, it won't go. So turn it around, face it away from you, 2 thumbs down. Don't do that to my videos. Okay, so that's on. Look at where my main jet is. I want that sitting in that pickup bowl, so it's going to suck up gas. So kind of eyeball this. Got my main jet, got my pickup bowl. It goes on like that. 2 hands together, make sure my holes line up. Sometimes you got to tweak this so your screws will bite. Okay, I just physically spun the bowl so my holes line up. I'm going to take the 2 flathead screws here, kind of get them started, make sure they go in straight. I'm going to take the 7mm off of my driver. Just because I don't want to get carried away, I'm going to put it on my small ratchet and just put these on by hand, so I can snug them down and not over torque them. This is just plastic. You don't want to strip out the body here. If you do strip out the body here, you can run a nut and bolt all the way through with a washer and then nut it. You got enough space here to put a nut and bolt all the way through, but don't give yourself extra work. Just do these by hand and don't over torque them. So nice and snug there. I'm not going to go any more. Nice and snug there. I don't have any gap showing, so I know I'm tight. Okay, I'm going to start with the throttle linkage first. and then put the auto choke linkage on. So just turn the carb sideways, feed in my Z bend, tilt the carburetor to the back, put the automatic choke linkage in. Now feed my white keeper and the O-ring onto the intake tube. Now we're on. So now it's time for the backing plate. Making sure the breather tube here goes back on. I'll start with the two inside 7s since I have those on my ratchet already. I've got the 7mm socket, so get that started. Get the second one started. Snug these up. So we had some nice weather last week, and then it turned humid. When you get that breeze out of the south, it's bringing all that Caribbean moisture and heat. We need that Canadian air coming down, or that Midwest air. Okay, my two sheet metals are 8s. I'm going to put those on. Same deal. I'm going to go over to my ratchet. Just got to find out what I did with the 8. I got the 8. So it's too bad they got rid of this newer machine. It's got the newer style gas tank, 2016 725 cc, 163. Oh, 725 horsepower, 7.25, 163 cc. Excuse me. Okay, so we're snug on this. Time for the gas tank. Gas tank will go down into these channels. So we'll fuel this thing up here once I get it all together, throw it on the ground, and start it. Did notice when I was looking around at it that the high lift blade on it is kind of worn out. I'm going to send it out with a new blade. If somebody's going to pay a premium price, I'm not going to skimp on the blade. I'm going to send it out with a new one. Maybe save the blade for a crappy low budget machine. Okay, so now we need the recoil. That's going to go down. What's going on here? Something's hitting something. Okay, there we go. Somehow I was off track. Oh, just kicked you. So we got 3 of these holding the recoil down. They're 8s. I can use my impact on these. Okay, so that's on. We'll put the beauty ring on. You've got the two T25s, and then there's a clip here in the front. That little doodad faces the front. There's a notch up here in the plastic where that goes, right in that notch. So that faces forward. Fish sure. Pull cord through. That's got to come through the hole. Don't do the job twice. You'll kick yourself in the pants when you got to pull this off because you forgot to put the recoil rope through. So I got my T25 on an extension. I'm just going to put this back on. I'm confident that this thing will start, that we don't have to look at anything else. So that's why I'm kind of moving forward here with putting it together totally. My confidence level is up. Okay, so that's down. So I didn't bring out another air filter. We'll just leave the air filter off for the time being. Just put it on the ground and start it. Okay, I got some fresh fuel. So notice pushing this thing around, the wheels are a little stiff, so I got to grease up all four wheels. It just kind of pushed kind of hard. Who knows how long this thing was sitting, if it was sitting outside. You end up getting rust on those wheel axles. Okay. Give that a quarter turn. Remove Mr. Monster, and then I'll deadlift this thing off the ground here. And we're going to pull and go. I'm going to put you under the tarp. Hopefully it doesn't come crashing down on your head or my head. Lost a little gas out of the breather tube there. It definitely needs grease on the wheels. It's hardly moving around at all. Okay. What are you seeing? What am I seeing? Well, you're seeing something. I think the oil was overfilled on this. Let me check that out. It may need an oil change. It may be a little smoky with the spray paint on the exhaust. I just used stock gloss black on it. Way overfilled, if you could see that. Sorry. It's way up here. We got overfillage. It's not terribly bad, but I'll change it anyway. It's kind of right in the middle of use. It's not fresh, and it's not 5-year-old oil. Okay, let's pull and go on this 2016. So it started, but it's got a miss. It's not running smooth. I'm wondering if it's fuel related, like starving for fuel. It seems to be surging. So maybe I should take the carb off and maybe open up the jet. Um, Front wheel drive work, that was no issue. It just got a surge. I kind of put the filter on thinking maybe it was getting too much air, and that didn't make a difference. Tried to restrict airflow, and it didn't even it out. So I'm going to most likely remove the carb one more time, check the jet size, and open it up. Open it up and see if it stops that surging. So there you go. I think we're done with the 2016. I'll mess with this off camera, see if I can rectify that rough running. If it's not perfect, I'm not gonna send it out. It's gotta be good. None of this surging crap. Continue to have a nice day. Thanks for checking this out with me. Tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. Come back and see me. We'll look at some other project. Don't know why I'm blurry here on the screen. Oh, there we go. I don't know what that was all about, but it seemed to rectify itself. Have a good day. Thanks. Thanks again. Bye. Sayonara. Adios, amigos.